Hello everyone. It's Tired David here, and I am currently in Plymouth, Massachusetts. It's been a long couple of days. The last time I updated you, I was heading from Gettysburg, Pennsylvania to the car show, which is still in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. Bear with me as I try to get through this video. But it's beautiful Massachusetts, about 450 miles away, and I'm surrounded by some really cool cars. Why don't we just walk around and I'll show you and I'll talk to you about what's been going on. What is this? A 740? No. I think it's actually a 760. Let's see here. This car has under 100,000 miles. Yep, 760 turbo. So it's got that B230 FT. I'm not going to get too technical with it, but it's a low mileage, really cool car. Look at that interior. Quite nice. It's got a dash cap, but it's a nice little... I already used the word survivor. Gotta think of a synonym, but it ain't gonna happen. Ivy, her gas cap is about 120 miles away in Connecticut, so unfortunately it's gonna be a couple days till I can get that back. However, I called in the morning and they said, oh yeah, it's right where you left it, on top of pump 8. How could I do that? A checker cab. My understanding is these things have the same front and rear door. When you change the frame, the top portion, the doors are interchangeable. Isn't that kind of neat? This thing is a friend of my hosts for the evening. That would be John and Lee. And I actually snuck away for a minute to make this video, but look at this guy. That is so cool. All these plates, all the tags from the different years. Checker was sort of the ubiquitous taxi cab, if I have that correct. And if we head down this way, there's a couple other cool cars that I'd like to show you out here in Massachusetts. Where I'm standing right now, I'm perfectly equidistant to 3 164s. Who's that? This car is, I think, called Olive, and it's a beautiful, beautiful green Survivor, or I guess example of a good Survivor. Check this out. It's basically the twin of Ivy. Doesn't have the chrome rings on the tail or on the side marker lenses, and it's got that 94 green exterior with the gray beige interior. Original carpet, M400 transmission, and you know what the best part about this is? 54,000 miles on the odometer. So I got to drive this car. I got to drive what's in here, which is a Triumph TD, I believe it is, 1951. Officially the oldest car I've ever driven. Oh, Perry, come here, boy, come here. Oh, he got spooked by my tripod. Perry's great. And then here's the other 164. This thing, what was its name? I said it was an anagram for rust, so something like, I don't remember, but another, this one's a 71, I guess 71, and I was right. And then there's a Volkswagen Fox diesel. Believe it or not, this thing runs. So dinner's on its way here. It'll be coming up the street right now in a fully electric vehicle, which I also got to drive. I also got to drive an E21 BMW and a 2001 Porsche race car. That was really something else. It's a Spider. I don't know what kind. I'm not well versed on Porsches. But why don't we just sit down here and we'll chat for a minute. I'll flip you around. Uh-oh. Come on back. Okay. So the Volvo Club show was really great. I met a lot of people. Probably 50 persons walked up and told me that they know me from the YouTube thing, which is great. And wow, I feel like I look very tired, but I got about 5 hours of sleep, so what's the problem? I drove 8 hours, got in about 3 a.m. here to Plymouth, and we saw a little bit of the water. Drove around a lot today, had about 6 hours of just geeking out over cars. Lots of footage to go through. Boy, that 164 behind you is really, really good looking. That car, with its low mileage, drives super well. And the other, what else did I do? Yesterday, I got to test drive a PV444, 1957. that is the second year of Volvo car sales in America, but it's actually what's called a gray car. A gray car is something that is imported from Sweden. It's about the same color as the house here, gray beige, which is also the color of the white in the two-tone for Bruce, if I have that right. It might have been a slightly darker shade, but it looked like a gray beige car. That car was a B16, and the Swedish import has a single Solex carburetor, which actually makes enough power to move that thing along. So that's cool. Ivy's doing fine. Pinging a little bit. Timing is kind of wild. I think the centrifugal advance is not behaving very nicely, but it's fine. I went through Jersey, hated it. Went through Connecticut, dark, saw some deer, I saw a fox, that was cool, and Rhode Island, very small. It's amazing, it takes about like 40 minutes to drive through these states, which is kind of fun. I'm used to everything being about 6 hours big. So the Volvo show, you're all dying to know, it's really cool. Like, I have some complaints about the car club. If you're part of the VCOA, and I mean this with all due respect, it's, you know, it's time to find new ways to reinvigorate the club. Every couple of years it seems like membership dwindles or event participation dwindles. This is only my second national meet. The first one was out in 2019 in San Luis Obispo, and they paired it with the Slow Rolling Fest, so it was a huge turnout. Everybody from the West Coast, a couple of people from the East Coast, a lot of long distance drivers. Ivy, at this point here, it was 5,000 miles to Gettysburg, and I've already put on another 700, maybe 800 miles. So she's just right around 6,000 miles, I think, total trip driving. But the show was really great. It was so good to meet everybody, and it was so good to both show off Ivy, made some sales on the t-shirts, which were really great, and people were happy with the story of the car as I had it up displayed on the window. I also posted on my Instagram some of my highlights from the show. Haven't had a chance to make any videos, and I won't until at least the end of the month, because I'm just non-stop, which is why I look and feel and sound like this. But I got a smile on my face the whole time. And the award ceremony, it is what it is. I actually took that opportunity and to drive a 142 that was mega squirted. It was like a race car build for my friend Joel. He's great. He's what I call him Doc, because he reminds me a lot of Christopher Lloyd. And if you go fast enough in his car, you might go backwards in time. And that was really cool. Staying with Colville and the family was great. Getting to hang out with them. Everything from having a dance party in the apartment or in the rental home, all the way to just the adventures like driving the PV444 an hour and a half away in Lancaster, or cool little restaurants in the town of Gettysburg. I did 0 historical sites. Well, the Lancaster County Bridge Tour was fun. There were 3 cars in our convoy, and we got some nice photos from that. But everything else, it seemed like I was spending more time investing in the relationships of the people rather than doing the touristy things, and that's a really important point for me. I wanted to spend time with the people that I have an affection and a love for, and that have sort of become my second family in this Volvo community. And that's more important to me than just going out and doing sightseeing, touristy things, and taking pictures of ivy next to old houses. There's always time for that, and it's important to me to create good content, but also create strong relationships. So that's leading right into my plans, my future plans for the next couple of days. I'm heading into Vermont tomorrow. I'm going to be leaving Massachusetts, going through Boston. I'm going to make a stop in Boston to see another 164. I think it's also 94 green, but it's a 73. It's automatic, and I'm going to be doing a little bit of inspecting on the car for the guy that bought it. I was involved in helping purchase the car just through some of the discussions with the seller. I think the car is coming out of Kentucky, maybe like Bowling Green, Kentucky or something like that. But it's going to make its way up to Vermont, and I will as well. There's a second car that feller bought, and it's a 74 TE. That's the car that had Australia, Germany, and another country market only, but it was imported from the Netherlands, and it's going to have carpeted trunk, rear headrests, opera lights, a couple other options. I think a sunroof, but I don't know. Some of these, I haven't seen one with a factory sunroof, so I don't know what the story is there. I think that's it for up north. so that'll be a quick day, and then I bounce right back through New York. New York's expensive. I'm gonna avoid the Jersey Turnpike at all costs. Literally, $16. 3 miles later, you're on the George Washington Bridge, and you have to pay another $16? If I got paid minimum wage and had to commute, it costs more to go over the bridge than it does to work an hour. I don't know, minimum wage is not 15. That's not the point. There's like a joke or some analogy in there that I haven't quite fleshed out. But it's good to be here. It's beautiful Massachusetts. A lot of history in these neighborhoods. There was a road called the Sandwich Road, I think, and it's like the oldest road in the country that the Pilgrims used, and sections of it are unpaved to try to preserve its originality, which is great, but not when you're in a 1979 BMW 528 that wants to stall because the fuel pump's a little finicky. A great car, smooth engine, but tricky when it comes to some of those terrain, especially with my wide shoes. If I thought these were big on the BMW, they're much worse on the MG, the 1951 MG. Anyway, I don't mean to ramble, but I just want to catch you up and say the car's doing fine, I'm doing okay, and I'm really enjoying the trip. I've got about a week and a half to get back to DC, but what I'm actually doing is going from here, Massachusetts, up to Vermont, way back down south to North Carolina, South Carolina, where I'm going to be working on a P1800 ES. I was hired to do some work there because the fundraiser has been kind of slow, and I need to make some money so I can get home. And then I got to get to the Slow Rolling Fest itself, so I'll be working on the ES for a couple down there in South Carolina, and then I'm going to visit VP Auto Parts. You'll be sure to see all of that. And then I'm going to go up to North Carolina, hang out with the Griffith family that was so nice to host me over the weekend of the show. And then that's going to be a lot of good content, a lot of cool cars. Today was like 9 cool cars. I'm overwhelmed, I'm grateful, I'm exhausted, and I'm happy. So I'm just doing my thing, seeing snapshots of everybody's life and snapshots of the country. I also ate like a pound of pretzels for lunch, so I need some lip balm. Okay. I hope I framed this right. I just sort of guessed. And we'll talk soon. Thanks for watching. I can't wait to get back to California and start making videos again. But in the meantime, be well. And for those of you whom I met at the show, it was awesome seeing all of you, hearing your stories, and getting to say hello in the flesh. Till next time, take care of yourselves.